Here is my haul.
Is it possible to do a manual transmission swap for less than the cost of a rebuilt automatic? Let's find out. If you've been following this channel for a while, then you may know that I rebuilt the 4L60E in my S10 Blazer about 6 years ago. It started acting up again, so I've been contemplating my options on what to do. The first option is I can attempt to rebuild the transmission again myself, which I was able to do the last time after a whole lot of work, so that's not really something I want to do again. The second option is I could just buy a remanufactured transmission. A base level 4L60E reman from Monster Transmission currently costs $1,250, including a new torque converter. My third option, and what I'm ultimately going to go with, is to do a manual transmission swap. In this case, that means swapping to an Nv3500 5-speed manual transmission, a transmission that was actually available from the factory in these vehicles. After I did a little bit of research exploring this option, I'm pretty sure that I can pull this off for less than the cost of option 2, which was buying a remanufactured 4L60E. Of course, converting a factory automatic to a manual transmission is no small feat, and it's going to require more than just the transmission itself. So to complete this project, I'm going to need a clutch pedal, a clutch, a flywheel, a pilot bearing, a throwout bearing, a master cylinder, a slave cylinder, and a shifter, and probably a few other things beyond that. Oh, and the transmission itself. There's also a better than good chance that I'll have to modify the drive shaft or drive shaft since this is a four-wheel drive vehicle, but I'm really hoping that I'm going to get lucky and it won't be necessary by using an Nv3500 that came from the S10 platform. So time to get started collecting parts. So to kick off the Nv3500 swap, or at least the preparation here, I need to start gathering the parts that I need to get this swapped over. And I just saw that the local pick and pull junkyard has a 93 S10 on the lot with a manual transmission. So I'm going to go down there and hopefully pick up the shifter and the brake clutch pedal assembly, because that's a pretty hard part to find, and the only one I found is on eBay, and they want like $200 or $300 for it. So I think I can go down here, and if it's still on that truck, pick it off there for like 40 or 50 bucks, which is a big improvement. So we'll see once I get to the yard. Alright, here it is. Pretty stripped. But guess what? Shifter's there. So are the pedals. Alright, I guess I got my work cut out for me. I'll check back once this is done. Alright, success. I had to basically completely destroy what was left of the dashboard in this thing to get the pedal assembly out. Now I understand why you guys are asking like $200 or $300 for these things on eBay. So, pedal assembly out, shifter out, and I went ahead and the lower dash plastic trim piece, even though it's blue, was in great shape, and the ashtray. So I went ahead and took both of those, and I will try to paint those light gray because they're in much better shape than the pieces on my car. So, all right, let's check out of here and go home. Well, Murphy's Law struck again. For the first time ever, the S10 Blazer has left me stranded basically on the side of the road. I did make it to a gas station here, but on my way home from the pick and pull lot, the drain valve or drain plug for the radiator blew out, along with all of my coolant, and overheated and stopped. So hopefully I didn't damage anything too badly with the engine. If my stupid temperature gauge worked, I would have seen that a little earlier, but I started getting a tick, and then it got worse, and then I pulled over, and then the car stalled. So here I sit waiting for AAA to tow me the rest of the way home, and then I get to put another new radiator in this, and then hopefully everything will be good again. So fingers crossed. See you soon.
right, all loaded up and time to head home. Guess I should have grabbed a radiator at the junkyard too. Oddly enough, I was right next door to an Advanced Auto Parts when I broke down here too, but unfortunately they did not have a radiator in stock. Otherwise I would have just pulled a roadkill and changed it in the parking lot. So guess I'll get that ordered when I get home, and then my next project will be putting a new radiator in. Well, everybody's back home safe and sound with a little assistance from a tow truck, but we made it in the end. And here is my haul from today anyway. Clutch, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, come back. Try that again. Clutch and brake pedal assembly, including the switch and the brake switch is around here somewhere. I noticed the you know, all part of the same assembly there, but I got charged extra for the stupid brake light switch, which I think they charged me about as much as a new one would have cost, but oh well. So got the pedals, that's pretty important. Other thing that makes it feel much more real is the shifter itself. So I believe this should work and just drop into the Nv3500 once I get one that is set up for a four-wheel drive. Like I said earlier, I would have considered taking the one from the donor vehicle at the junkyard, but it was a two-wheel drive truck, so no good there. I also picked up another ashtray. This one's blue, mine's gray, but this felt like it fit in there a lot firmer. I don't know if that was the ashtray itself or the rest of the dash, so might give that a shot. At the very least, I can probably sell this on eBay for twice what I paid for it if I don't need it. The other thing that I'm definitely going to use is the lower dash panel. Oops. The lower dash panel. Again, this one's blue because it came out of the donor truck, so it will need to be cleaned up and then painted to match mine. But unlike mine, almost all of these tabs are intact. So every single one of these was broken on mine, and I have epoxied it back in place, and not very well. So this will hopefully be a nicer piece once I get it all finished up. It does have a couple little, this one's cracked, and then I guess that was it. Just this one up here. I thought I saw one more that was cracked somewhere on this one here, but doesn't look like it. And also on the bottom here, mine was all busted up. Again, put it back together and epoxied it. This one is in pretty good shape. So I think that was well worth the, I don't know, $8, $10, whatever they charged me for that. So that's my score for now. Now I just need to work on sourcing a transmission itself. I've already got a clutch, flywheel, pilot bearing combo replacement kit picked out on eBay. Looks like that's going to be about $250. So after that, I just need to get a master cylinder for the pedal assembly, and then my plan is to use the internal slave cylinder throwout bearing on the Nv3500. So I'll just need a new master cylinder and then a line to connect those two. And then I think, fingers crossed, that should be all the parts that I need to complete this swap. So I will check back once I've got some more parts.
Alright, well that's going to do it for part 1 of this swap. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and check back for part 2 of this project. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up down below and like it if you did. Leave me a comment down below if you've got something to add, or just to let me know what you think about the project. Thank you very much for watching all the way to the end here, and I will see you in 2 weeks.